Have you ever felt like there's a version of you waiting to be unleashed, stronger, more focused, more alive, but no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't break through? Like you're trapped behind invisible glass, watching life pass by, knowing deep down you were meant for more. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're lost. It's something else, something harder to see. It's like a fire burning quietly inside a sealed jar. There's heat, there's pressure, but no oxygen. And with every passing day, that fire dims. Not because it has to, but because it's suffocating under the weight of what's been left undone. Jordan Peterson said, "The true hell is the realization of what you could have become." That line doesn't just sting. It exposes something we all know deep down, the pain of unrealized potential, of knowing we were capable of more, but letting fear, comfort, or distraction get in the way. Brendon Burchard teaches that wasted potential is rarely about lack of talent. It's about lack of clarity, lack of intention, and lack of courage. When we don't know exactly where we're going, we hesitate. And in hesitation, we drift. And in the drift, years disappear. This video is about confronting that drift. It's about recognizing the invisible forces that drain our energy and silence our purpose. And more importantly, it's about taking that pain and turning it into power. We're going to walk through 3 phases. First, how to recognize the pain of wasted potential for what it really is. Second, how to clear the noise and unlock your highest performance. And third, how to turn that new energy into something that leaves a mark on the world. Stick with me. By the end, you'll have a 3-minute tool to help you break through. But more than that, you'll remember who you're supposed to be. Imagine waking up 10 years from now and nothing has changed. Same job, same frustrations, same someday dream still sitting on the shelf. That quiet ache in your chest, that's not boredom. That's regret forming early. It's the pain of knowing you've been drifting, alive, but not fully living. This pain is subtle. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It tells you that you're behind, that you're not doing enough, that you were made for more, but can't seem to reach it. Jordan Peterson calls this the suffering of what could have been. It's the emotional weight of potential left unused. And it's one of the most dangerous forms of suffering because it's invisible. No one sees it, but you feel it every day. Brendon Burchard teaches that this feeling is not because you lack ability. It's because you've been unclear about what truly matters. When there's no clear aim, there's no focused energy. You start the day already tired, not from action, but from the mental clutter of everything left undone. And here's the truth most people don't talk about. Structure is not your enemy. It's your freedom. We often think that routines, plans, and discipline are traps, but they're actually the path out of the prison of randomness. Without structure, your potential stays scattered, like sunlight that never becomes fire because it's never focused. Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, shares that how we start our day is how we build our lives. Most people wake up reacting to the world, scrolling, checking, rushing. But what if your first hour was a declaration of who you're becoming? That's not just a habit, that's a personal revolution. Carol Dweck, the pioneer of the growth mindset, reminds us your abilities are not fixed. You are not stuck. Your brain is capable of change. The pain you feel isn't a life sentence, it's a wake-up call. It's your potential begging to be noticed. And nothing drives this home more than the real stories of people who refuse to let their potential waste away. Sylvester Stallone was rejected over 1,500 times before someone finally agreed to produce Rocky. He believed in his script so deeply that he refused to sell it unless he could star in it, even while broke, sleeping in a bus terminal. His pain wasn't failure, it was watching his dream rot. So he fought back. Howard Schultz grew up in a Brooklyn housing project, often wondering if there was more to life than just surviving. He went on to build Starbucks, not just as a coffee brand, but as a symbol of possibility. He turned the grind of his beginnings into fuel for something much bigger. Chris Gardner, whose life inspired the pursuit of happiness, spent nights in subway bathrooms with his son. He refused to let his circumstances define his future. Every rejection, every door slammed in his face, only sharpened his drive to succeed. And J.K. Rowling, a single mom living on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers. But she wrote Harry Potter anyway, because something inside her was louder than the world's silence. These are not just success stories. They are human alarms, reminding us that pain, when faced, becomes power. So pause for a moment. Really pause. And ask yourself, what have I been ignoring in myself? Maybe it's a dream, a skill, a message, something that's been calling you, but you've been too busy, too scared, or too distracted to answer. Write it down. Make it real. Because when you name it, you start to claim it. And here's the open loop. If you're feeling drained, scattered, and stuck, it's not a personality flaw. It's a signal. Your mind and body are screaming for clarity, for intention, for direction. In the next chapter, we'll dig into how your brain actually wants to help you, but it needs you to stop getting in the way. Your brain wants to help you. Really, it does. It's not your enemy. It's your engine. But too often, we flood it with noise, endless scrolling, constant notifications, trying to do 100 things at once and mastering none of them. It's like opening 1,000 faucets and wondering why no stream is strong enough to push you forward. Jordan Peterson talks about this tug of war between chaos and order. Chaos is where possibility lives. Order is where progress happens. But without structure, you're drowning in potential with no path forward. And that's where most people live, somewhere between confusion and exhaustion. Brendon Burchard breaks it down simply. High performance isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, with clarity, energy, and intention. When you live in distraction, your brain never enters deep work. It never reaches flow, the state where time melts and you feel fully alive. And without flow, your life feels like a series of false starts. Here's where it gets practical. The science of flow, made popular by researchers like Stephen Kotler and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, shows that we perform best when challenge meets focus. But focus requires subtraction. You don't get into flow by adding more to your plate, you get there by clearing the table. Greg McKeown, author of Essentialism, teaches that when everything is important, nothing is. The breakthrough comes when you eliminate the trivial and protect the vital. Not just with your time, but with your attention. Sean Aker from Harvard backs this with data. Positive people are more productive, more creative, and more fulfilled. But positivity isn't just smiling through stress. It's creating an environment where your brain feels safe to engage, explore, and grow. So let's make this real. Think about your day. How many hours do you lose to distractions that leave you feeling empty? Be honest. Then ask yourself, what if you just cut one of them? Now look at the lives of people who mastered this principle, not because they had perfect conditions, but because they made powerful choices. Kobe Bryant lived by focus. His Mamba mentality wasn't just about basketball. It was about refusing to waste energy on anything that didn't fuel his mission. Early mornings, repetitive drills, total immersion. While others coasted, Kobe trained like the game depended on every second. Because to him, it did. David Goggins turned pain into fuel. Overweight, depressed, and going nowhere fast, until he decided to stop running from suffering and face it head-on. He became a Navy SEAL, an ultramarathon runner, and a symbol of mental toughness. Not because he loved the grind, but because he stopped letting distractions drown his calling. Marie Curie, one of the greatest scientists in history, obsessed over discovery. She didn't chase fame. She chased answers. Through hardship, through grief, through endless trials, her focus never wavered. And because of that, she changed the world. And Michael Phelps, his training routine was brutal. Hours in the pool before most people were awake. No excuses. No negotiations. He didn't become the most decorated Olympian by luck. He engineered his environment for excellence. These aren't stories to admire. They're examples to follow at your level in your life. Because greatness doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right thing over and over again. So here's your moment of reflection. What's one distraction you know is stealing your focus? Is it your phone? Netflix? Mindless scrolling? Whatever it is, write it down. Then block it for 7 days. Not forever. Just long enough to remember what clarity feels like. And as you do, don't be surprised if you start to feel lighter, more focused, more grounded. That's your potential waking up. Because the truth is, your brain wants to work for you. It wants to solve problems. It wants to create. But you've got to give it space. You've got to protect its power. And once you do that, once you stop draining your energy and start channeling it, you're no longer stuck. You're building. You're moving. You're creating something that matters. You've faced the pain. You've cleared the noise. Now what? Now it's time to build. Because all the clarity in the world means nothing without direction. All the energy you've unlocked, it needs a purpose. Otherwise, it'll just circle back into distraction, regret, and wasted days. This is where legacy begins. Jordan Peterson teaches that meaning isn't something you stumble into. It's something you earn by choosing responsibility. The moment you decide to carry something bigger than yourself, your life changes. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What must I give?" Brendon Burchard calls this living with intention. It's the difference between drifting and directing your life. Intentional people don't just set goals. They set goals that serve others, that create value, that echo beyond themselves. That's what this chapter is about. Taking all that unlocked power and giving it shape, aim, and weight. When you set meaningful goals, you wake up different. You walk different. You don't need to be pushed, you're pulled. Because now you're not just working for a paycheck. You're building something real. Something worth remembering. John Maxwell, a master of leadership, says, "People don't follow titles. They follow courage. And courage starts with owning your own life. Not just surviving it. Not blaming your past or waiting for perfect conditions, but stepping forward anyway." Sadhguru reminds us that responsibility isn't a burden. It's freedom. The more you take on with awareness, the more powerful you become. Not in a loud way, but in a rooted, peaceful, grounded way. Because now you're not reacting to life. You're shaping it. And the most powerful people are not always the loudest. Sometimes they're quiet, focused, intentional. But their impact ripples far beyond their circle. Look at Malala Yousafzai. She was just a girl from Pakistan who believed girls deserved to go to school. Her voice, shaken young, but full of truth, ignited a global movement. She didn't wait to be powerful. She chose to speak, and power followed. Blake Mycoskie, founder of Tom's, built a company around the idea that one pair of shoes could change a life. Buy one. Give one. Simple, but profound. He turned commerce into compassion. Ben & Jerry's took ice cream and added justice. They built a business model where values were as important as flavors. They didn't separate profit from purpose. They fused them. And LeBron James? He didn't just win championships. He opened a school for kids who needed hope, structure, and a chance. Because real greatness is not just about success. It's about service. These people aren't exceptions. They're examples. So here's the reflection. What's something small you can do this week that helps someone else? Maybe it's listening to someone who's hurting. Maybe it's starting that blog, that video, that idea you've been holding back because deep down, you know it could lift someone else. Maybe it's simply showing up on time with your full heart. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be real. And when you start living that way, when you stop asking, "What do I get?" and start asking, "Who can I help?" something changes in you. You stop feeling empty. You start feeling full, alive, grounded. That's the life that matters. Because here's the deeper truth. You are not just a person. You're a node in a massive network. Every word you say, every act you take, every moment of courage, it echoes. It multiplies. It moves through your family, your friends, your coworkers, through their choices, through their kids. And the more you step into your purpose, the more you give others permission to do the same. So build that life. Not later. No. You've seen the pain. You've felt the pressure. And now you've been given the tools to turn all of it into purpose. Let's bring it all together. In Chapter 1, you face the quiet suffering of wasted potential. That ache that comes not from failure, but from knowing you could have done more, been more. That kind of pain isn't punishment. It's invitation. A call to rise. In Chapter 2, you discover that the way out isn't through hustle or chaos, but through clarity. You learn that your brain, your energy, your focus are powerful when protected. That when you eliminate distractions and step into flow, you unlock the version of yourself that's been waiting. And in Chapter 3, you took that power and pointed it outward. You saw how meaning is made, not found. That impact isn't about being famous. It's about being intentional. Choosing to lead, to serve, to live in a way that matters. Jordan Peterson reminds us, responsibility gives life meaning. That's not philosophy. That's survival. Without meaning, we drift. But with it, we rise. We endure. We become someone our future self will thank. Brendon Burchard says it simply, live each day with full intention and full presence. That's what high performance really means. Not just doing more, but becoming more on purpose. So now it's your turn. Take 3 minutes. No noise. No scrolling. Just you and a piece of paper. Write down 3 things. 1. What inside you have you been holding back? 2. What is one distraction you will eliminate starting today? 3. Who do you want your life to impact and how? That's your next step. And it's not small. Because it's action. It's you reclaiming your power. It's you stepping into who you were meant to be. If this message spoke to you, share it. Send it to someone you care about. Someone who needs to be reminded that their life still matters. That their story isn't done yet. And if you want more content like this, subscribe, like, and help us grow this movement of meaning. Not hype, not noise, real growth. Your potential is not gone. It's just been waiting for you to wake it up. Now go, build a life that matters.
Hey, incredible growth seekers. Wow, what a journey. If this video resonated, subscribe now for more life-changing content. Join our community of self-improvers. Smash that like button to fuel more content on mindfulness, goal setting, and emotional intelligence. Share this video to create a ripple of positive change. Comment below about your growth journey. Your insights shape our content. Next week, boosting self-confidence and overcoming limiting beliefs. Don't miss it. Every interaction brings us closer to a world of empowered individuals. Let's make personal development global. Stay inspired, keep growing. Your best self awaits. Let's unlock it together.